Welcome in, beautiful people. Welcome in to the Miss Best Reviews channel. Let's also welcome James, our co-host for all of our reality TV recaps.
Hey. Thank you for coming in. You guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, show my girl some love.
I appreciate you guys. I hope that you subscribe to James's channel as well. We do collaborate on reality TV together on these YouTube streets. The link is in the description of this video. It should be the first thing that you see, and I struggled to find it because YouTube didn't like me today, so please click it. But other than that, you guys, we're going to go over Love and Hip Hop Miami. The latest episode was titled Secret Agenda, Season 6, Episode 19. This whole episode was just foolery. I'm tired of the large people arguing with each other. I'm annoyed with the choices that some of these people choose to make. And I'm not going to be nice in my opinions that I have today. I am going to be blunt. So we're going to just jump right in. James is already laughing. So Shay was, I don't even know how to start this. Shay was going on. Shay was hollering in the last episode. She got mad and decided, I want to fight MJ, or not MJ. MJ's her brother. She was defending her brother against Alan because Alan walked into her brother MJ's event because he was upset that Amada, who originally belonged to MJ, was there. So Alan walked in and walked right past the person whose event it was without saying nothing after not seeing him for a while after impregnating his best friend's woman. So the audacity of you, Alan, as we all know. But Shay goes off. After she goes off, and Big Mike, aka Mike Nasty, whatever the hell this large man's name is, he took off his shirt like he was gonna do something, but he didn't end up doing nothing. So Shay leaves in the Tesla that Fabo gave her, that allegedly came from the bank account of Fabo's actual wife or fiance or something, because none of these people can seem to find a man of their own. And after Shay leaves, MJ attempts to talk to Alan. And MJ was fair, in my opinion. He was like, listen, I'll talk to dude if he ain't on no disrespectful stuff, which was fair. Because at the end of the day, now that Amada's had this baby with him, MJ, let it go. Why do you even want to be the stepdaddy to the man who stole your girl from you and then made a baby? Like, it would never work in the long term, in my opinion. The trust doesn't exist. But he gives him a shot. And Alan was like, you need to let it go and stop trying to get with her. Who are you, sir, to say what MJ should do to a woman that you're not married to because you married to somebody else and you took her from him? So it's kind of like, why would you even expect him to do that? And Alan was disrespectful. So he ends up getting into it with MJ. They end up trying to fight. The security guards kept them from fighting. I don't think Alan can fight. I don't. I really don't.
He's a track star, I would say that.
He's fast, but if you look at him, it's like, what were you intended to do? There wasn't a fist ball. Security just lifted him up. I don't think he can fight. I feel like he thinks he can because he probably got in a couple of street fights growing up in the Dominican Republic, but that don't mean you can fight. Just like a lot of us.
Some men like to tussle.
Just tumble around.
Just kind of tussle, not really, jab with no fists and nothing. Just kind of like just tussle, like do your arm movements and stuff. I see fights like that all the time in Arizona.
That's so funny because when I be seeing men fight back in the day when I was at bars a lot, you always catch a fight, and a lot of times there don't be punches thrown. They just be like hemming each other up, almost like trying to not let each other hit each other. At least
right, it's
hit
weird.
Each other and will scratch and claw and pull hair and shit. Men, what y'all doing?
We playing football without the actual instrument or sport or ball. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. Just Alan, I can't take him seriously. My comments on this scene, y'all, is pretty simple. Amara is dumb. This man has refused to acknowledge you. You poured your heart out to him, and all he could say is, I respect you because you're the mother of my kids. Not because he wants to respect you, not because he loves you. He respects you because he has to on behalf of his daughters having a shot at not being as dumb as your ass is, Amara. That's what he has to do. So I'm looking like Amara's begging for a nigga that don't want her. MJ's fighting over a bitch that don't want him. He's fighting his ex-best friend who took the bitch from him. And Alan is just filled with audacity, a receding hairline, and a bunch of women that don't understand that he don't want them. that's my comments on the situation. I am done with this storyline. I want to see Amara go off into her Telemundo land. And she's very popular and well respected in the Hispanic and Latin community as it relates to their television sources and local channels. So go be over there, Amara. We don't need you over here no more. MJ, if you stay, I want to see you get a job and move out your mama's house. We could see like, you know, like back in the day, reality TV, like New York goes to work. We could see a MJ goes to work. I'm just saying, I want to see MJ get a job and lose the hat because he has the hairline. His friend does not. And as for Alan, I just don't care. I don't care. That's what I hope. How'd you feel about these people, James?
It just was a bunch of ignorance. That's all that it was. One that Shay started. So Mike Nasty, I hope you was paying attention to exactly what you about to sign up for, because this is how she is in real life. So I hope you was paying attention, and I hope you wasn't, you know, ignoring the signs and wonders that she has. That's all I'm gonna say. As far as this whole beef goes, like, I understand MJ. I do. I wouldn't have the energy for it. I just really be like, you know what? Have at it. Good luck. Wish you well. Goodbye. Because I'm not gonna fight. I'm not about to do anything. I get my heart was broken, and I get that, you know, this was my best friend at the end of the day. But at the same time, I'm not about to give you what you want, which is the energy that I'm hurt. I'm not going to give you that. You don't deserve to see it. I'm not going to, you know, have you cast your spell on me just to see me suffer just because you wanted to cause my suffering for whatever reason. I don't know. But I just wouldn't give him that energy. I wouldn't give him that time of day. You don't give clowns the balloon.
That's a good point. I like the way you worded that. It tantalized my little soul. So, y'all, we move on to Shay and Mike Nasty. They go out to eat, and this was my kind of date.
Mine too.
Okay, listen, I'm not a big seafood person, but if it comes to crab, I am. That's it.
This is where Shay pissed me off.
Yep. I think we were all upset. Now, they meet at a crab restaurant. I couldn't find that restaurant online for the life of me. I could not find it. But she does apologize for her behavior at the event. And it's interesting because Shay is like, you behaving like a hood rat when you have a multi-million-dollar company. Couple of them. No, she is. She does. Shay is very successful business-wise. Her products work. People report good things. Apparently, when they meet her, she's friendly. She has so much going for herself, Shay Johnson. Her only hiccups are Flavor of Love 2 back in 2006 or 7. And her dating choices. And third, her behavior, her temper. If she could work out those three things, or at least figure out a way to keep them private from us, I think she could really thrive and be successful in business. So I don't want to, because we do roast Shay on this channel because she acts like a damn fool and she behaves like a hood rat, but she really is so much more than that. She really is. But at least she apologized, which is rare for her without somebody having to coast her into it. But she talks to this man, and once again, y'all, he's given too perfect. I said this in the first time that we saw him on the episode when we recapped it. It's nice, but I don't trust it. And not because of the criminal background. You're coming and you're trying to present yourself as clean, and you're doing all of this for her so soon. And I'm not, just because a man has money doesn't mean that he should spend so much of it so soon on you. You know, if he's doing the same thing from girlfriend to girlfriend, what makes that special? Yeah. So I'm just kind of looking at him like, okay, this is strange. You have perfect answers. You were totally okay with her acting a fool. You were very quick to say, I get active, which I believe him. He will. But then he's also saying that her mother was phenomenal and felt like she asked him the right questions, when most normal people would be like, why is your mama so in tune with your business? We ain't even girlfriend and boyfriend yet. We went on a couple of dates and your mama's questioning me like she's a drill sergeant and I'm a cadet in camp. That doesn't make any sense in my mind. So he also says he wants to send Shay and her mother to a spa, which I was like, okay, that's nice. But it's also like, why are you doing this so soon? You sending all the bitches you dates, you know, to the spa with their mamas and grandmas and Auntie Cheryl's? Is that what's happening? Because that's a little odd to me, y'all. That's a little odd to me. But he orders hella seafood. That's why I call him Big Mike on top of Mike Nasty, because I know that man liked to eat. And I mean, platters of different types of crab. There was shrimp. I seen some mussels. They had the roasted potatoes and corn. This was like, me and James needed to be there.
I'm trying to tell you, because Shay talking about leave that food on the table. And see, this is where I would have broke the fourth wall, but like, bring that over here if y'all not going to eat it.
Right. You know, production afterward was like, can I get that to go?
Right. Like, I don't even need to go. I eat it right here. And you paid for it already. Give that here. Don't waste food like that. Don't waste food. I get it's Miami. Seafood is easy to come by. But don't, no. We're not going to waste no good crab legs with some, that look like Cajun seasoning on there too. No, we're not going to do that.
And you can eat foods like that healthily. It's all dependent upon.
And she was full of shit. Shay was full of shit. You can eat that very much well.
Oh, yeah. For Shay, I don't know what that was about. Shay, we know you be eating crab legs. Stop playing with us. I swear I've seen you eat them on the show with your business. It's okay, Shay. It's okay. But she then mentioned, the guy, Mike Nasty, then mentions how Shay's mama talked a lot about her ex. I was glad he mentioned that, because don't no new person want to hear about the ex.
Right.
Your new doesn't need to hear about your old. They need to know about it, but it shouldn't be like a constant conversation. Your ex, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. However, Shay quickly shut it down when he asked about it, saying that he's asking too many questions too soon. You got this man up around your mama, your brothers, your businesses on this television show, being filmed in front of hundreds of thousands of people, because I don't think people in the millions watch this shit no more. And you telling him that he's asking a question too soon, when just a couple months ago, you were on this show, just a couple weeks ago while filming it, talking about you and Fabo are the hottest couple in Miami. So yes, he has a right to ask about you and your baby daddy, who you led meeting him with as the topic. When Shay met him, the first thing she said, I dealt with this with my baby daddy and I have trauma, so I'm trying to step out there. He has every fucking right to ask if you really done with him.
Right, especially if he's investing time and his energy, his money on your dates. Like, and I don't feel like he was being unfair. I feel like he was saying, hey, look, I would love if, I can understand more about that situation, because he has told her, he has been upfront, his last couple of relationships were with women who could not let go of their child's father. So you knew this was a trauma for him. So the least you could do is reassure him, if you couldn't do anything else, to say, you know what, listen, that situation is done, and we're only going to have a co-parenting situation. There is no way I would ever revisit that situation again. That's all he was looking for. But for you to say you don't know and you can't completely X him out means you're not over him. So why are you dating this man?
Yeah, I agree. And that doesn't even, I know people with kids like, you all don't get it. It's a deeper bond. No, because I'll be having kids.
Not. Y'all play yourselves with that. That is,
if people are done, they're done. Yes. They'll make it very clear that they are done.
They're done. And you know how they make it clear? They go out and get other women. That is the clearest sign of all day. I think what it is that women hold on to that hope and they never let it go. And that's where a lot of you get circumscribed in your circumstance, is that you hold on to the hope that maybe he'll see you differently, or maybe he'll come around as your child grows and see that maybe this is the family he always wanted. A lot of you women hold on to that hope. And I want to let you know that is the biggest lie you could ever tell to yourself. Ask Amarda.
Yeah.
I think that right now.
Shay and Amarda's situations also are not that different. Fabo is alleged to have a wife in Jamaica. He's got a fiance in Wisconsin, and allegedly some other chicks that he's dealing with. So it's with these two specifically, stop holding on to hope for a nigga that you got who belonged to somebody else. But let's get into the comments. Aviste Winner, welcome in. Happiest of Tuesdays. I love the fact she called out all that butter. That's what we saying. Shay, you could have ate the crab. It looked seasoned, but you didn't have to be dipping it in extra butter and all that.
Yeah, you didn't have to do all that.
You didn't have to do all that. but I would if I needed to. Just give me some whiskey and some cognac of some sort, something dark, and I'll eat all the crab in the world. I really will. She said, not a lot of us, some of us get it right, James. Yeah, that is true.
It is true, but it's very far and few between. It is very true. It is when women have the realization moments. It's called realization. Realization moments, realizing he's never going to change, realizing the situation will never change, realizing he's never going to rise up to where you are. So then you know what you do, you move on. But most of the time, a lot of women are not there, especially in this day and age. A lot of women are not there. So I get what you're saying, a bitch they winner, and I agree with you. And it's not a lot, but it's more than we can count. It's more on this show than any other show.
Bitch they winner said, don't put me in that shit. When I'm done, I'm done. Because based on some of the little comments we've seen, I don't think she the type to play that.
No, and I can appreciate that. Absolutely. I can appreciate when a person is done with a situation, they're done with a situation. I can appreciate that very much because time is not of the essence. You don't have time to waste hoping somebody's going to get something right that they never will. That's just you know, because if they got it, if they want to get it right, they would have got it right with you before you had the child.
And in Amara and Shay's situation, they would have been divorced.
Exactly.
Or at least single. That's why I'm looking. I guess I'm just sick of them. I really am. Both of them, I think, need to just move on from this show. They're both successful outside of the show. Go be successful outside of the show because it's y'all too old. Shay's approaching 50, and Amara, I don't even have good words for her. But Amara and her delusions are at home, and she's trying to get pity from Mommy Anna and the audience, trying to make it seem as though she's the victim in the whole situation with MJ and Alan at MJ's events, when the reality, in my opinion, Amara is not the victim. She is the cause. She's the cause of it all because nobody told you to go homie hopping. In the words of Ray J, you smashed the homie. You did. And you knew you were doing it. And you chose to do it. And you've thrown it in this man's face in previous seasons. So now you want us to feel bad for you because he crashed your event. And you want us to feel bad for you because the man that you knew were married, who had to get permission from his wife, it sounds like, to be getting you pregnant over here in the United States of America. Now you want us to feel sorry for you, and you want your mama to feel sorry for you. And she's talking to her mom about the situation. And essentially, I did feel like she disrespected her mom. She said, I don't want to end up like you, all unhappy and stuff. And I was finally, for the first time, watching the series of Love and Hip Hop Miami, I was finally thoroughly happy with Amara's mom and how she responded to all of that, because I think that she did see her bitterness, that grudge she held against Amara's daddy, that anger. If you know, you know. If you've watched the show, I'm not going all over the history. I think she saw how that genuinely impacted her daughter. Because now Amara is making, and James has spoken about this as well on the channel, Amara is literally mirroring what her mom did. And your kids don't have to see you accepting and taking back their parents like Shay had to see her mama take back the daddy after all that cheating. They don't have to see it. They can just see your bitterness. They can see your anger. And she has misconstrued that into her mom just being unhappy with her life. And it is not that. Some people really are okay with being single. I have family members like that. I know people like that. Some people get tired of dating because of the shit y'all do when you date people, and they just want to be done with it and have their peace and their money, and that's okay. So Mommy Anna was like, listen, who says I'm unhappy? I was like, that's right. And she gave it to us all in Spanish. And Amara took a second and looked, and Amara claims that her situation with Alan, as it relates to having the kids, the relationship was supposed to be a fairy tale. But baby girl, a fairy tale doesn't usually involve a man that's already married. It just does not. So I'm looking at you, Amara, like, where's the fairy tale if from the whole time you had to hide this man in the beginning, you found him after being hurt by your ex, so allegedly, like, none of it makes sense. So Amara's mom let her know and politely told her, you choose you. When you choose and put yourself first and raise the standard of what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to not accept, then you are going to attract a different type and quality of man. and you're going to attract a different type and quality of person, even outside of men. You are the energy that you put out. You put out that you okay with being a mistress, then you're going to get a bunch of men that are okay with not treating a woman right. Safari, MJ, and had no job. And this one's unavailable. She keeps choosing unavailable men. And James has said it season after season because of her daddy. So thank you, Mommy Anna, for finally telling your daughter what the whole world has seen, because she's making a fool of herself here in the States where people watching Love and Hip Hop. She's definitely just not smart. So how'd you feel about her and her mama's conversation?
I went back and forth with this on my mind, because though I agree with you, I do feel like Mama Anna needs to put her in her place to let her know that she chooses wrong. But at the same time, I want Mama Anna to understand and maybe consider what was it that Amara did see, because you were her first demonstration of woman. So you have to also kind of take some accountability in that as well, as much as you wanted to dismiss that. I felt like for me, I was watching her kind of dismiss the very possibility that she's only doing what she saw, and she has it honest. And the only way we truly break those patterns is if we break away from the situation completely. She has to cut her mom off, so that way she could rebirth a new being. That's really what she has to do, because she's going to continue to go down this slope, having her mom by her side. And I'm not saying her mom's, anything of evil to her. I'm just saying that when people have these habits, they die hard in the circumstances that they're in. So you kind of have to break away from those circumstances and kind of redefine you. And I feel like if she does that, she may end up being in better circumstances, because she doesn't have the constant reminder of the wrong choices that she constantly makes. I'm not saying her mom guides her in that direction, but I'm just saying she has it honest. She's doing exactly what her mother did. We saw this on the TV show. We saw it, whatever season her dad came, her dad had a whole nother woman. So it's kind of like, okay, so I see the pattern. So I feel like it's unfair for a parent to really say, oh, you need to choose better. Oh, you need to be better. Oh, you need to do better. But okay, well then when you were raising her, what better did you show her? And then what man were you measuring that up with? Her father or the idea in your mind? Because in both cases, you messed up twice. So I can't really fault Amara as much in this situation without equally blaming the mama too. I cannot do that. I'm sorry, y'all. And I know it's like, well, she's grown now. Yes, she's grown now, but at the same time, once again, old habits die hard. We end up, if we don't understand what we're running from, we tend to run right into the situation.
That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. A lot of people do that. I don't think a lot of people realize how much the things that we want to avoid are the things that we do end up being stuck with. It takes a lot of introspection. Let's get into a bit stay when his comment. Also, it's unfair for her to blame any of this on her mom. She did not have to take her mom as an example. She's too old to even blame her mom. Blame it on her mom's situation. I think in terms of, so psychologically, how trauma works, most of the trauma we experience as adults is because of what our parents did and went through. Yes. However, once you get to a certain age, it is not up to your parents to fix that trauma. It is not up to your parents to correct that. It is not their job really anymore to parent in that way. A lot of people will still do that because, especially in Black culture, I think in just cultures of all sorts, they still feel like this is my child, I'm still going to parent. But sometimes people have to learn and recognize things on their own in order to change them. Her mom can recognize it and say all the right things, but Amara could likely still make
all of the wrong choices. Exactly.
So I agree that she is too old to blame this on her mother. I think Amara will blame a lot of the choices she makes on whoever's available.
Yeah, and I think she does that as a scapegoat because she really doesn't know what she really is running from. And I never said she blamed her mom. I said the mom has to have some accountability in this. I'm saying, like, because you can't tell your daughter you need to choose better when you were her demonstration of woman. You just can't do that. And as a bitch, when its next comment says, if you highlight it, you have to choose to be better. And that means sometimes breaking away from your circumstances of where you are. I think if she left Miami, she actually would be probably remiss to make better choices being in a new environment, because she now has to rediscover herself being in some place that is totally isolated from her roots. You got to break away from that. That's how she's going to be able to do this. And until she learns that, it's never going to work, no matter what she does. It's never going to work until she breaks the cycle. Her mom is going to be okay by herself, living her life.
Yeah.
I promise you, your mom is going to be okay. You need to take you and your little girls, and you need to find elsewhere.
Well, she's not going to do that. She's going to stay where it's familiar, which doesn't make sense to us. But in my opinion, Amada's a lost cause. I think that she feels like she's the shit. She's achieved greatness being the way that she is. And sometimes when people achieve success a certain way, they don't see the need to change. So we'll see. We will see. But she's making a damn fool of herself this season.
Absolutely. And it's so sad to watch. It's so sad to watch her do it. As successful as she is, it is very sad to watch.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sick of her. I really am. Shay and her mama, they end up meeting at the spa. Mike Nasty, you paid for this unusually fast. Okay. Y'all not even a couple yet. Y'all been on, like, as Shay said, 3 dates. Now, they talk, and Shay pissed me off. I'm not even going to go over the whole scene. Shay is now trying to make this man the problem. Her mom's like, I like him, so on and so forth. Shay feels like Mike is bullying her into not being with Fabo. That is the dumbest thing I have heard. How can a man who you claim you've only been on 3 dates with bully you into being with him? You seeked him out. Y'all went onto a dating website because he wanted a relationship and you allegedly want a relationship. So why would you think that any man who would want to be in a relationship with you would be okay with knowing that you could one day be back with your baby daddy? Like, you're making yourself not dateable.
When he expressed that concern to you on the first date of how he had his exes leave him. It would be one thing if he said it out of the blue. But it's another thing when a man has told you, and this is another thing that a lot of women do as well, is that a man will tell you and point signs and give context clues of things that have hurt, harmed, or disturbed him in his peace. And what women do oftentimes is ignore those things, because a lot of women aren't used to men being on their emotional side. I totally get it. But at the same time, always pay attention to that, because that is going to show up. So when a man is telling you, hey, I've had 2 other women leave me for the father of their children, I am scorned by that. She's taking that as, oh, he's bullying me into not wanting to be with Fabo. And it's like, ma'am, he's unsure of a choice that you made. And based on his experience, you're in the exact same situation the last 2 women were into. And Mike, I'm going to tell you like this, brother. Stop choosing women like this.
Yeah.
If this is an issue for you, stop choosing women like this then. Stop choosing women with children. There are plenty of women without children, or there are plenty of women with children that have healthy co-parenting situations.
That is true.
But at the same time that I'm saying that to say this, Shay, you don't have a healthy co-parenting situation with Fabo. So that gives him a lot of reason to say, hey, are you willing for us to have a chance at love and life? Are you willing to let whatever future you thought you would have with this man go?
That's the thing of it is, I think that Shay does this in every relationship that she goes into to a certain extent. And I think this is why her relationships don't succeed.
Yep.
She wants a man to do everything that she needs him to do, but she is not willing to meet him halfway. And I will say I have a lot of girlfriends who want and have all of these high expectations for a man, but I don't think that they look sometimes from the male perspective like, are you meeting his expectations? And that applies to same-sex relationships as well. You cannot want to be in a relationship with someone and not be willing to address their feelings or address their needs in the way that you expect them to address yours.
Yes.
And that shows how flawed Shay's thinking is. It also shows it when her family tries to support her and she decides to make them into the enemy. She is used to having her way, and when she does not have her way, she throws a fit. If Shay does this with every man that she dates, it's just never going to work. And Fable's going to be happy because whether he's with or without Shay, he's putting his tillywhacker everywhere.
And then coming and do it to her as well. So it's like he's gonna forever win in this situation. And that's what I'm telling you, ladies. Y'all have to understand something. If a man has not changed, then he's not gonna change now.
Mm-hmm. If Fable wanted to change, he'd change. If he actually loved Shay, he would change also. Because there are some men who do dirt and then find a way to change.
Well, something has to trigger or scare them. And I hate that men have to get to that point for you to change and say, oh my God, I almost lost my life. Let me get it right. It's like, no, you should always choose to want to be a better person. I'm not saying every person is meant to be in a monogamous relationship. I get we're all human. We're all different. And the more that we lean into our biology, we're learning those things about ourselves. But at the same time, don't commit, have babies with people, create broken homes, and then get angry when she's frustrated with you because you won't do what you probably committed to in the bedroom to get the baby. So I'm just saying, like, it's starting to get to a point where, like, I'm tired of seeing this storyline on TV.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing storyline on TV because it's like we're having the same conversations over and over and over again. And I'm like, what more do we need to see of this?
That's deep. See. Let me get the comments. Hi, DM Rocks. Welcome in. I am going to watch it. I am aware that Garcelle left the show.
I'll talk about
for those who don't know, I watched Survival of the Thickest. It's on Netflix and a couple of other shows. And Garcelle has credits on quite a few shows on Netflix, on television, on all of that. So she's definitely booked and busy. Dorit, even with Garcelle gone, we will still think that this robbery was a setup. I would love to see how they carry the show without Garcelle there. She's the only one that was calling out the BS. They're going to gang up on Sutton. Sutton's going to get fed up and leave because she doesn't need the money. And then there'll be no show because the rest of them are not interesting. So we'll be probably talking about that on James's channel. I think he's going to talk about the looks. He always covers the reunion looks of all the shows. Tune in. We'll also have a live where we're just going to discuss relationships and reality TV. Just a fun little chit chat on the internet on Thursday on my channel with James and Shayna from the Shayna MCD and MCD TV channels. I'll be posting that also afterwards. And Basketball Wives, they posted their looks and struggle bus. It's Jackie, it's time for you to come off TV. Your age is there.
Mm-hmm. Take your daughter with you.
Please take your daughter with you. And
take your daughter with you.
We don't
want this. I don't know who asked for this. We do not want this.
But we have quite a few shows that are coming. I know Love and Marriage Detroit's coming back. James is going to be covering that show with the Mamas and Sons on OWN. And I have for all of my shows premiere in winter that I recap and the beginning of spring. And then in summer.
You have never ever met on April 4th.
I know. It's spring. That's what I'm saying. All of the shows I cover, it seems like they all come on and premiere in the winter and spring. When summertime and fall comes, I don't really have much. I'll be recapping.
When does Basketball Wives premiere?
This month.
Oh.
I think next week or something, very soon. So I have a bunch of shows coming. However, this show is going away. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is going away. And Beverly Hills is going away because the reunion's here. So my next shows would be The Valley, Basketball Wives, and Never Ever Mets, which I'm very excited about. I love that concept, and I hope they do better than they did season 1.
Well, I would definitely say the people are more attractive this time around.
Ooh, thank God. Because that one chick with the dreadlocks, the fake dreads, I can't remember her name. She was terrible. But let's get back into Love and Hip Hop, y'all. Zoe's promoting a new makeup brand, Brinks Beauty. there's so many people who use Brinks at the end of their names professionally, especially as it relates to makeup and YouTubing. So I wish she would have chose a different name, but good for her. She says it's a makeup line, but it looks like it's lip chapsticks, glosses, things of that nature. And it looks like it's doing okay. She says that this is what's making her money. And she says the beef with Ching Diamond, and she was let down. She thought being on this show that when she put out her album, that she would have a Cardi B or K Michelle moment. And I said that when she came on this show, and I've been saying that about a lot of the newbies with Love and Hip Hop. It does not work that way. And Zoe is talented, in my opinion. She actually is talented, but you can tell she started to run out of ideas. She's everywhere. And she also has a slight sense of entitlement and had a habit when she first came on the show of like throwing bits and things of that nature. So I can understand why she would want to lean away from music and into something else, because leaning into something else is going to provide you more guaranteed income than just being an independent artist. That's just the truth. But she's telling all of this stuff to Hot Topic, which was weird to me because I'm like, this is the same chick who talked about your weight last season.
I was just going to say that.
Now y'all suddenly want to be cool. And then Hot Topic, once again, comes with mess. So you got out of that situation barely with Trina and Bobby and them, because now your precious Swerve is okay with you, but nobody else is. So now you're going to go Hot Topic and talk shit to Zoe, proving that you a messy bitch. If you got a blog, you need to own it, Miss Hot Topic, because without owning it, you just messy to be messy with a bad BBL. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But she tells Zoe that she basically, Ching Diamond has been talking about her. Ching Diamond never liked Zoe and has been telling people in the street she don't like Zoe, only befriended her so that she could take her place, it sounds like, on the show and as the big girl of Miami. Zoe ends up telling Hot Topic of an upcoming event. And Hot Topic is just like, I'm mad they didn't invite me. Why do you care so much to be a part of Trick and Trina's entourage? Like, as quiet as it's kept, Trina's doing shows. She's not performing nothing new. She's performing all of her songs from the 99, 2000, as Birdman would say. That's what she is performing. We're not going to get on stage and see Trina performing like anything too new. She might do a song or two because artists used like to do that, but as we know as the fans, that's when we go to the bathroom, get a refill on our drinks, things of that nature. So I wish artists that people trying to come up in the Miami area, as James said with the motto, leave the area and go somewhere else and get put on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Miami's not the only place. There's so many options. So that's how I feel about it. How do you feel about Zoe and Hot Topics? A little chit chat.
I felt like I would have wished Zoe said to print a receipt for what Ching Diamond say. Not to say that it's not believable, but I just wish
haven't got there yet. They just her talking about the beef, like Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish Hot Topic would have printed a receipt.
She's not gonna print a receipt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I feel like because as I said, we were talking about the whole weight thing, and I wouldn't be so quick to trust her, is what I would say. So I'm putting myself in Zoe's situation. If I'm in Zoe's situation with my brain, not Zoe's brain, but with my brain, I'm going to be cool with you. But when you start talking about, oh, well, what I heard was that she's trying to replace you, and I got that from a reliable source, to somebody she fucked with. I got, that's what they said. I said, okay, we'll call that person right now, and let me hear them say it out their mouth. And then I'm going to record that conversation, and then I'm going to bring it to Ching. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not,
The whole situation to me is stupid. If you really cool with somebody, you should never hear your name even rumored to be in their mouth. Like, that's how I feel. The people I'm cool with and I'm known for a long time, there's not a person that's been like, he talking about you or this, she said this. Like, it shouldn't be that way. To me, where there's smoke, there's fire. Once the rumor starts, somebody says something somewhere at some time. But Zoe,
that's Hot Topic. That's what I'm saying. I just don't trust her, so that's why I would say that.
It's Hot Topic. We can't trust her. We cannot trust her. However, we can't trust her as it relates to being messy. Unfortunately, with this chick, receipts or not, everything she said doesn't come true. Trina got married. Allegedly, it came true. Allegedly, she ain't got no prenup either. Hot Topic said that. They ain't got no prenup. So I'm like, Hot Topic's that person the way she moves and the way she gives information is so shady that it makes people hesitant to trust it, but nothing that she has told us has been proven to not be true.
I get that, and I can understand it. I'm just saying, just for me, just because I don't trust her, so I need to see more proof.
Zoe should not trust her though.
Yeah,
she definitely shouldn't, because how you go from insulting my weight and calling me a nobody to needing me, and then Zoe, you should have caught and dug more into why are you mad that you're not invited? That's what I would have been doing. You worried about my situation, why you wasn't invited somewhere? Is that why you with me now? But Zoe she doesn't think. She's very emotional, and she has to fix that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna do the best I can with this one. Pinky Doll, her malnourished ass. And listen, some skinny people, nothing wrong with it. I love Glorilla, for instance, tiny as hell. But Pinky Doll looked like she thin because she likes to do a lot of uppers and drink maybe half of the liquor that she used to drink. If y'all watched what she introduced, she just be seeming off to me, in my personal opinion. But she's in the studio and the beat is carrying her. The beat was carrying her. She was just repeating a bunch of words back and forth, essentially doing what she does on TikTok, just with the beat playing in the background. And I'm wondering, because she's like, I haven't heard from Timbaland, so I booked my own studio session. Bitch, if you a real artist, wouldn't that be the first thing that you do? You would think. You thought Timbaland was just going to do it all for you. Book the session, write the song, produce the song, mix and master it, and promo it. What were you going to do? I don't like people like her. And I'm going to just keep it a buck. If this was back when me and James were in high school, right? She would not be famous. She just would not be famous. She has no talent. She's not that cute. Her wigs aren't laid right. And then I do think she kind of stole her sister's ideas. You say your sister been wanting to do music, which we'll learn later on, since 5. And here you are, who's never cared to do music, trying to do. I can't stand this girl. I have nothing good to say. She just kept repeating, "Write it like a cowgirl." And I'm like, you have no initiative. You have no work ethic. You don't know how to conduct yourself in public. You can barely speak. And I know plenty of people living in California whose second language is English, but they still speak it, even broken up, better than Pinky Doll can. I don't understand what's wrong with this girl. I don't see her purpose. Miami Tip comes in, and they get to talking about the little interaction she had with Amara La Negra, and Pinky Doll's trying to make it seem like Amara was talking about her, even though she knows doggone well in the last scene that Amara came in and was like, listen, we don't know each other, and that was Ray conducting a problem. And that girl was rolling her little ass neck like nobody don't want to grab her from it. And I'm looking like, Pinky Doll, you were the problem. Why are you doing this? Miami Tip had to check her and tell her that she was immature and acting a fool. Miami Tip took it a step further and explained to her, I'm hearing on the street that wasn't the first time you've done this. Miami Tip made it clear, like, make it staple, get your name known in Miami, but acting a fool is not the way to do it. And she said that a lot of people come to Miami and they act a fool, but you have to prove yourself as an artist first before you can just act a fool and it be accepted. And even then it may not be. She irked me though. And I know this irked James, because Pinky gonna respond, what's good with you, Tip? Because if you're supposed to be my friend, why are you trying to check me? And I was like, you ignorant piece of shit. You sorry excuse for a fucking woman. Waste of a fucking vagina. And people love vagina. What in the actual fuck is wrong with you?
I was like, wait a minute, hold the hell up. First off, Tip better than I ever would have been, because I would have got up and walked out. I'm like, I can't have conversations with people like her. I just can't. Because who the hell, what the hell, and why the hell are you doing this right now?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
This is why I see why she didn't get no further than where she at. I see why you eating hot dogs for views. I see. Ain't nobody
the fact that that's all she could think to do shows you how big her brain is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You had millions of people obsessed with you at one point, interested in you. She was trending everywhere, but she never trended positively. When I first saw her, when they were like, NPC character gets this many views, she had gotten like 1 million streams or something on TikTok. And if you go to the comments, no one respected her. It was just a reminder. that social media has given people with zero talent, zero work ethic, a way to get known and to make some money. And so it's very hard to respect Pinky Doll, like as a whole. But I agree, James. She should have walked out. She's just a lucky stripper. But unlike, because we've had a lot of strippers on Love and Hip Hop, they had talent. Hell, Jocelyn at least do it like it's your B-Day. Do it like it's my B-Day, baby. At
One
least she
thing,
put a
yeah,
song together.
she may not have had the best talent, but she made a believer out of people. That's what I say.
And she booked her own studio time and got things done, even though we know Ballistic helped her. But still, she still got it done. And when that didn't work, she went into other lanes and leaned into her personality. The Pinky Doll, we don't get to see your personality when you're just yes, 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 yes. We don't get that. And you're not even doing the NPC thing right, because they don't do that when you play video games. They don't do that anymore. They just don't. They haven't since like 2007. I'm a huge gamer. Anywho, I don't know why you invited this girl to Curacao, but okay. Sorry to Curacao.
Hell, at this point, hell, I'd rather be in the damn Airbnb with Gael than be with this one.
That's true, because at least Gael knows she can't sing.
No, at least I know what I'm gonna get out of Gael. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of that lady. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of her. That's a damn shame that I'm saying that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sick of her though. I don't really care for her on the show. But okay, VH1. Y'all keeping Basketball Wives on TV, which tells me you desperate. So okay. Ching Diamond and her man Marquez go out. He's moved to Arizona because that's where his mama lives. And of course, men like him going right back to mama when they girl don't want them. And she's in Miami, and I was cracking up. Ching Diamond said, my mama went back to Nebraska, and I ain't talked to her since. I said, oh, Lord, her mama was not with that. And her mom's a good example of sometimes that's what Mama Anna needs to do, what Ching's mama's doing. I see your point there, James. She definitely does. She definitely does. Would she listen? No, just like Ching doesn't listen, but it'll help just to get that bug in her ear constantly. Yep. But yeah, so Ching mentions Zoe Brink's hitting her up because they want to meet. She pretty much got it, Zoe, and was like trying to say, like, how can Zoe tell her about her relationship and her man when she was in premarital counseling? And I said, Ching, that was not a dig. That was not a read. You are a rapper. You are very talented, but you are also very ignorant. Anybody going to premarital counseling, I fucking applaud you. Yes. Get that counseling in before you sign those paperworks. Please do. Because sometimes premarital counseling brings out stuff that you didn't know. Sometimes it can spark an argument that you may have never had, thinking, I'm just going to be so in love and be with this person forever. Too many people just run to the altar. And Zoe is also younger. She's not 35 plus. If you're 35 plus and you know, the way you get married is the way you get married, in my opinion. You're going to do what you want to do. And people are also, I think, more goal oriented once they're past a certain age. Don't mean fuck shit don't be happening, but that's just my opinion. But nobody should just be running to the altar when they're actively like having the issues that Zoe and her man were having. They were living together. It was not working. She says she was feeling smothered. So going to premarital counseling was the appropriate thing to do. And it's likely how she was able to break up with this person, but still have respect for him and vice versa. They broke up. It's the first breakup on Love and Hip Hop that wasn't just crazy drama. Nobody fought. There weren't babies made on people. Nobody put nobody out. That's honestly how a breakup should look. Because it wasn't so drama-filled, she didn't get as much camera time with it. But Ching, that was not a dig. Now, her man is creepy as hell to me. It's very clear that this man is using her. And when he's not using her, Ching is a very pretty girl, large or not. I think he loves her titties. She's got a great rack. We cannot fault her for that, but I don't think he actually likes or knows her. I just don't. She's very...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is giving pen pal. This is what this is giving. This is giving pen pal. This is giving, you met him at first as a pen pal. He got out, did the same shit, went back in. You decided to hold it down because your self-esteem won't let you get out there and, you know, play around. So you chose to be loyal to this man who ain't loyal to you. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. Him saying that he trying to work in Arizona and coming to Arizona, girl, that man is good as gone. That man is good as going. When I tell you in Arizona, it is a dry drought, low men count availability, and he's
That's
not bad
true.
looking. He's not bad looking at all. Trust me, he got somebody in Arizona.
He does. He does. And if he didn't at that time of filming, he
He got
would.
one
And
now.
secondly, from that, because I can attest to that. I remember going to Arizona with two of my very single friends at the time. One of them is on our live right now. There wasn't been nowhere. We went to a couple bars. We done went downtown, outside of the city, within the city. Whether you are gay, straight, or trans, the pickings was slim.
I mean, y'all can't even see my eye, can you?
And that's why I always push my good friend James. Look, love is important to you. You deserve to be loved. If you got to go to Alaska, to Tibet, if you got to go to Nairobi, and I don't know where if you got to go to Lagos, do what you have to do, because there ain't nothing there really, and you lucky to have found somebody there.
Right, I am, because it was like,
I said, well, look
there's
at how God
here. There's nothing here. So as soon as he put one toe in Arizona, women are swarming like bees trying to get.
And you'll probably be able to do a lot more for him out there,
Then,
because it's much cheaper than Miami. It's
absolutely
getting expensive. It's not what it used to be. Like back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, everybody was moving there and to Colorado and to Seattle. And now things, of course, are more pricey, but it's still much cheaper than Miami. Honestly, Ching could probably get noticed a little better out there in terms of her style of rap and things of that nature.
They'll run her out of here.
You think so?
They will run her out of here. They won't understand it. They won't resonate with it. They will run her out of here. Trust me.
Whenever I get artists on my music reviews and stuff that are from Arizona, they're always super talented, but I will say that they do always end up having to move. But yes. There's still a lot that's positive. She'd be near Vegas for shows. She'd be near California.
I think that's where she should go, is Vegas. I think she would do extremely well in Vegas. I don't think coming to air. Now, if I actually believe this relationship, which I don't, I believe on her part the relationship is real. I just don't believe on his part the relationship is real. So if I'm believing that the relationship is real only on one part of it, I feel like Vegas is a good compromise, because it's only 3.5 hours away. So directly, it's a quick drive. Come here, do your business, go back out. That's enough time for you to peek around and make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing over there, working at the post office or UPS or whatever job he got. So,
Lord help us. Hello, Shayna.
Hi, Shayna. But I'm just saying, that's exactly where I guarantee you, I go to UPS right now and go find him.
You probably could. They hire felons, hell.
Yeah, they do. That's why I was like, I go to UPS right now at the airport. That's exactly where he at.
But the thing of it is, he says also that he got a job. He did the stuff that she asked, and he's like, so you can let your mom know. Now, last time he was like, whatever, F that lady. This time he seemed to calm down, because he's like, damn, I need the money. I'm on TV. So, he's like, I got a job. So that's some good news you could report to your mama. And this bitch gets mad. I said, oh my God, you're mad that he has a new job because the job is in Arizona, not in Miami. James said it. That man got released from jail and was probably allowed to parole to Arizona. Yeah. He probably got a layover or something in Miami on the way, because you don't have to report for a certain number of hours, sometimes days, when you fresh get out. Speaking of which, Love After Lockup is back. I may or may not cover it. I was getting annoyed with that show. But he definitely is likely having to stay there. I feel like it's something she knew about, and she's being impossible and unreasonable. And then through her attitude of being upset that her man, who got out of jail, who everyone doubted, found a job, she drops the bomb that she's pregnant. Where's your other child? Still in Nebraska with your mama, right? And now you're pregnant with a new baby? How your other baby gonna feel?
I need to see the timeline.
She posted online that she has 3 months left until she is due. And she's posting pictures with him as if they are still together and stuff. So when I saw that, James, between online and how she dropped the pregnancy bomb, Ching, you're unreasonable. You're unrealistic. Do not blame your thought process on pregnancy hormones. That is an old and tired excuse.
Well, good luck. I hope it works for her. I really do. I hope it works for her. Some tell me it won't, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like old habits die hard, and
That baby gonna end up in Nebraska with her other child
yep.
being raised by her mama because she's repeating the same cycle as her mama because she said her mama was a rapper who was always on
And
the
this man
road.
gonna be back out here in Arizona with Dixie Cup over there at UPS. So I ain't gonna.
Yep.
I'm not gonna play with. I'm not gonna play with these two. I'm just not.
I can't. Ching, stop telling people about your relationship and get mad at them. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So Pinky Doll pulls a magic trick and she pulls Timbaland out. And I'm like, oh wow, he finally popped up. And I was really annoyed because Timbaland, you have a music review just like I do. I have artists that come on my music review and are like, you actually like this? Timbaland told me this was awful. A very talented artist has gone through this. Shout out to King Creole. We love him on this channel. He supports and is usually in all my lives and things of that nature. Very talented artist. This man sings. He's got so much talent. And Timbaland told him he didn't like his song. And so I joined in on his review show one day because another artist, shout out to T. Bryant, who I review, was like, he didn't like my music. And this is an OG. He was a veteran. Thank you for your service. He also watches my lives, apparently, because his wife likes this show. But I'm looking like all these different artists who are very talented have gone on Timbaland's show. I've watched it and people with so much talent. He's like, nah. Right? And it's hard on them. But you're going to tell a bitch that only says on a song, ride it like a cowgirl, ride it like a cowgirl, ride it like a cowgirl, while somebody puts some damn effects on her voice and, music that you listen to when you're pissed drunk and you shouldn't be buying another drink, but you are while you're at the club. That's the type of music this was. And Timbaland is talking about he believes in it.
Timbaland, how much did VH1 pay you to make this appearance?
He had to get paid.
Yeah, because I don't bit more believe that you really think this young lady has all this talent and expertise and whatever else you said in this
You
scene.
worked with Aaliyah.
Yes.
And people don't understand when Aaliyah was like some of her biggest hits, she was genuinely under the age of 18. To be able to sing and dance and do those things and keep up like she did at that age while also dealing with the bullshit of Robert Kelly. And you're going to tell this chick with the pigtail wig that's never on evenly that she has talent, then she says to him, because she knows she don't have talent, I think I do better in pop, which was kind of insulting because there are some pop artists, for instance, Katy Perry's considered pop. She has vocals. She can genuinely sing. She did star in gospel too, which I think is funny, but she can genuinely sing. There's so many talented pop and rock and country artists, genres that people are like, you don't need to do much, but these people can actually sing. There's a difference between singing loud for the church and knowing how to be radio ready, as Simon Cowell used to say. And these people can sing. Pinky Doll is not ready for anything, but okay, Timbaland. So she wants to do pop. And then we learned her first song, Ice Cream, that I guess got popular on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, y'all, so I don't keep up with these things. But I guess it was a sample. She did not clear the sample. So the first thing she went viral for, it is known for, was taken down because she plagiarized it by not clearing the sample. So I'm like, what is this? He does admit that this is a new business venture. So it's very clear that Timbaland is likely looking for another way to make money and invest, in my opinion, versus actually seeing the talent. And he compared her song to, I can't remember the name of the song that he said, but I looked it up and I was like, I remember this. And it's essentially a bunch of people who did what she's doing, just make it like a party hit, not requiring much effort. So out of nowhere, she cries and she's telling him how her sister, this was her dream and all of this. And he did not seem to care at all. The energy was weird. Now, I know Timbaland is married, but he ain't married for that long. And when he married the woman that he's with now, he was having a baby on the way with somebody else. This is still somebody in the industry. So I'm looking like, what's really going on with you two? Because there's no way I can believe that he's working with her because she is talented. Because we know that she is not. So I don't know. James, did you get something deeper from that, or?
No, I didn't get nothing deeper than that. I just felt like they paid him. He said his little pleasantries and then got up off the camera. That's all. I don't feel like it was even that deep. I feel like it was just They paid him his good little 40,000 to make one little scene happen, and it happened, and we may not ever see him again.
I don't think we'll see him again. And I think it was important to Pinky to get him on the show to prove herself, but you're not going to prove yourself until you put out good music. And good music is not that over edited, all the extra. This is not good music. So we're going to move on. Pinky Doll was a flop. I think they need to get rid of her, or hire somebody who can properly read her and put her in her place, please, because she's too much. Now, the last thing we see in this episode is Ching Diamond agrees to meet with Zoe, and they meet in some restaurant. Ching shows up on time, sits down. Zoe decides at the last minute that she's not going to go in. And this is my problem with Zoe. Zoe be right in her feelings about shit, but she goes about it wrong. Why have this woman drive somewhere, waste her time and energy to show up to a restaurant just for you to change your mind at the last minute, and then you FaceTime her from outside? You may as well have just fucking gone in if you're going to FaceTime her. What was the point in FaceTiming her? Just go see her. Just given Zoe don't want to fight, which I can understand.
Oh, so I can understand that, but yeah, that was a waste of time.
She was acting like scary or something, in my opinion, because I was like, why are you going to have, you asked to set this conversation up, and then you decide you don't want to have it in person. It was stupid. So she does ask Ching about the things that she heard that Hot Topic said about Ching not liking her, thinking she ain't doing shit, want to replace her. And Ching did not deny it. Some of it she did own. And then Ching mentions how Zoe stole some ideas. She wasn't rapping about donuts and things like that. Ching, you're not original either. There's been a lot of big girls who have leaned into the fact that they're big and done music videos, put out songs and stuff like that about food, or filmed while in food. Like Ching is new and fresh with it, but there's a lot of artists that have done that. So it was stupid. But Zoe does seem to show that she's struggling in her music, and I think this going wrong impacted her. But it was mean of Ching Diamond to say that her music will do nothing and that she was only her friend because she felt sorry for her. When people say things like that, never be their friends again. You don't want nobody's friend because they pity you or are sympathizing for you. You want people to have empathy and understand where you're coming from, but you don't want them to pity you. Just because someone is not your friend anymore does not mean that you also suddenly say they have no talent. They're not going to do anything. You're an upcoming artist just the same way that Zoe is. Zoe does only have 1,300 listeners on Spotify. Ching has 13,000. But I know from working with artists, people buy streams all the time. And the labels do it too. That's why Spotify changed some of the rules, as well as all of the streaming platforms, of how you get paid for streams, how they calculate streams, because the labels have been buying streams for all of the artists y'all think are so great and that we all love. So it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, they were tit for tat, but I felt like Ching went below the belt and was really trying to hurt Zoe's feelings. And Ching also was saying, like, you're a joke in your own city. You new to this city. Don't call somebody else a joke. But though to what Ching said was mean, I think it's an important and learnable point. The way that you act follows you. The choices you make, the way that you behave, it follows you. Yes. James has written books. If he shows up late to a book signing or cusses out somebody, if I come to a book signing with James and I start cussing him out, you didn't call me back last week. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's a reflection, if he argues back with me, of him. Zoe didn't understand, and we said this when she came on this show. James said it and I said it. She didn't understand that you don't have to fight every single person that you feel disrespects you, that you feel doesn't believe in you. Zoe threw fits. She got into it with Trina. She got into it with everybody on the cast. And unfortunately, it does seem like a lot of them do not actually like her. She operates like she's messy. And I said it earlier in the season. You could tell she was just like, yes, a friend. I want to be like Ching. She's big like me and little stuff. Zoe's very insecure. And I wish that she would figure it out, because when you're insecure like that, it impacts you. Because I do believe that people have said negative things, because she's very talented and there's no reason she can't succeed. It's good that she succeeded in other ways, but The whole fight was stupid. They do end up trying to fight each other. Security stopped it. For some reason, Zoe twerked. It was so funny when she bent over to twerk, how the guards spread out. They didn't want to be twerked. Did you catch that?
Yes.
The guards was like, don't twerk on me. I'm just doing my job. But yeah, it was a hot mess. How'd you feel about their little interaction, James?
I think it was stupid and childish. I did. I'm just not gonna lie to y'all. It was stupid, childish, and it was really petty. It's like y'all couldn't sit down like grown women, really iron out the issues that really I feel was really minuscule. Because I went in this, being on Zoe's side a little bit because I thought Jean Diamond was tripping. I really did, and I feel like she let her own insecurities kind of bump up the bond that they were building because you was worried about this man being fine and that you pulled him and everything and actually holding that as a badge of honor when really in the realization of it he ain't shit. And you tried to compare that because someone is trying to go into a situation with great mental health. I was on Zoe's side on this, but then when the actual circumstance came about and how Zoe was acting, I kind of felt like you really weren't trying to break bread with her or try to make it seem like you wanted to be at least in somewhat cordial space with her. You came in there like, okay, I'm right, you're wrong. And I didn't like that at all. I didn't.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think anyone really liked it unless they just make no sense. But then there's also going to be those people that feel, well, Zoe, you acted a donkey when you got here, so now you're getting what you deserve. It's unfortunate. They're both very talented. But I do hope that Zoe does not give up on music. I think that she should have listened to some of the advice that man from last season was giving her because she was trying to switch up her style and go into the Islander thing. And I think Zoe's problem is she does what she thinks is she copies what's popular at the time, and that causes her to come off as disingenuous and lessens the quality of her music. Just rap and you'll be okay. You'll be fine. But that's all that happened, y'all. These people get on my nerves. We'll be back next week again because they haven't announced. I don't know when the reunion is, or I know there's not a reunion, but I don't know when the finale is.
If there is, I don't think they'll have a reunion. It would be hard to contain all these people, so I think they gonna skip out on that reunion.
Yeah. But I don't know when the finale is coming. It's still going, but we'll be back next week to do this show again. Tomorrow we'll do Beverly Hills Housewives as well as Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Thursday we have a Relationship Live. I'm not sure if James is going to do his updates video or reunion looks, but be on the lookout for that as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play that one by ear.
Okie dokie. Whenever you're ready, just get it done. It's just outfits, so it's not much, unless there's more to talk about.
Well, I got to talk about Garcelle leaving. I also got to talk about, I'm going to do a Basketball Wives update, show the cast.
Oh, Lord.
That live is really for you. It's not for me.
Oh,
I just do it on my channel because I need the video.
Yeah, I don't like doing the pop culture, the outfits. I'm not good at that, but you thrive in it, so keep thriving with it. Because I don't have the patience, child. But we'll see you guys next time. We appreciate everybody for watching, Replay Gang and all. I appreciate you, James, and everyone enjoy your day or night. Adios.